television in September of 1992. This is a topic where we kind of gleam over it month after month. As the summer is fading away into fall, the theaters are going to see a little less activity here, and we are going to pick it up and have some things to watch at home. So we'll breeze through this, but I've got a little more news than usual in the world of television, starting with NBC is the first network to cancel their Saturday morning cartoon programming of the ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox group, and they're going to replace it with shows a little more teen-friendly, including a block of shows that features the following. Any guesses before this is...
California Dreams.
It's too late. It's given away. Do you guys remember
I already
California
knew it. That's the
Dreams?
one I'm always talking about.
This is...
Saved by the Bell?
Exactly. You would... Other than the actors, okay, the font, the color scheme is a very Saved by the Bell ripoff going back. But,
I love it.
They knew their audience, right? I'd forgotten about this show.
Not me. This is the one I'm always talking about. I'm like, I loved Saved by the Bell and then Don't Sleep. I liked California Dreams also. I liked that guy. He ended up dating an Asian girl on the show. And I dated an Asian girl for a half a second shortly thereafter, and I slightly compared me to him.
You also played the drums.
Because of that. And I played the drums, absolutely.
Your role model.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love this show, bro.
I can't remember much about it, to be honest, but obviously I watched it. It was coming on NBC on Saturday mornings right after Saved by the Bell. It was going to get some views. We also considered a team.
One, bro.
Yeah. So this is how big of a deal basketball was to all of us, young and old, in '92. That in a teen programming block on Saturday morning, we had a show called NBA Inside Stuff. I thought that was pretty cool.
That says a whole lot. That was in 1992, and still in 2019, football is considered the dominant sport in North America. You guys have both heard me say at some point over the years that basketball is the best sport in the world. I'm sure Cass probably wouldn't disagree with that.
The world would disagree with that and tell you it is soccer. That is not.
Okay.
I'm only speaking as a representative of the world and not Daniel right now.
As a guy who loves to play devil's advocate, allow me to counter that with basketball is growing faster around the world than soccer is.
That's because basketball is not the most boring thing anyone has ever seen, ever.
Absolutely. When it comes to like little kids around the world, like global survey, now granted this was about 5 years ago that I read this, global survey, little kids are participating in basketball on the rec level around the world or youth level around the world more than soccer now. That's around the globe.
That fills Valky's heart with happiness.
One thing that's got to be helping is how big it's becoming in China, with the population in China, with them latching on to basketball.
Sure. You think about like these Eastern European countries that are just crazy good at basketball, though, and I mean England, obviously, France puts players in the NBA, probably like their top 10 with countries that put players into the NBA. Canada for sure, like Mexico's doing, South America putting ballers into the NBA, right? Which is just a testament to whatever they have going on there. These American, if you can't make it into the NBA here, there's a super long list of countries around the world that you can go to and be a professional basketball player. I mean, you may not make $1 billion, but you'll be able to eat somewhere.
There was a guy that went to our school a couple of years. I don't think you guys had joined us then. I was the basketball manager of the team at the time, but we had a guy who went and played overseas he had a long career overseas.
Yeah, Dion played over. He tried to get Kerry to play. Tried to get DC to go over and play also. They played in the military. Dion would go and make his money, and then he'd come back over here and live his life, right? And there were times when he was like, okay, well, I need to make some more money. So at least once he told me that, right? Like, okay, I went back over to get some more money.
To be skilled enough at a sport to say, well, I need some more money. I'm going to go play the sport some more.
Sure. And then, like famously, how about this? We can talk basketball for forever. You know that. But, famously now with this story with equal pay for females, blah, 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 blah. Valid thing. I'm just not trying to get into it right now. But part of the story with athletes is specifically female basketball players. We have the WNBA here in this country that's just kind of a, you don't want to say a dying league, but it's not self-sufficient, right? It's able to prop itself up because of the NBA and the fact that it's just not a profit-making thing. It just
Right.
isn't, right? So the players make what they make. Those same players make more by going overseas and playing. The
Mhm.
Yeah, the WNBA contracts are not the primary pay for the best players in the
Some of
world.
they're making like 40,000. I think the top tier players are making around 60
Wow.
or
I wanna say they're
something
making
like
6
that I
figures,
heard.
but it's not much. It's not much. I wanna say they make 6 figures now. I could be wrong, but I think that's true. It's not much though.
Yeah,
It's not
no, it's
150,000 a year. It's definitely not that.
yeah, especially compared to what, the astronomical sums the men
The
are making.
the insane numbers that the men are making, and rightly so
That's a
in
supply and
a
demand.
strange way
All
to say it.
sports is a supply and demand situation. Like
Absolutely
if
so. It's a
there's a
supply and
reason
demand
those men are
situation.
making that. Like they didn't just
Right.
it didn't just
Yeah,
magically happen.
the,
Absolutely.
the
So
WNBA arenas are not full,
Right.
unfortunately.
You could have
absolutely.
a
They're NBA
WNBA game
arenas,
at
they're
a
not gonna fill them up.
they could fill a high school gym with some of their turnouts. That's just what it is. And how do
So piggyback
you gotta make this somehow make it more exciting for people to watch if you want to get
do
on the
you?
level.
Piggybacking off of what you just said, right, supply and demand thing, wha it's interesting to note that those same ladies playing the exact same game go to Russia, go to China,
Where the
go
demand
to
is.
wherever else,
Right.
and make 3, 4 times what the demand is here,
And that
right?
is
Which is a testament to the strength of basketball itself, right?
which
Just putting a little
yeah.
bow on that.
Well, yeah. I can't fix it in this conversation, but there's an argument to be made there that instead of being called the WNBA, maybe it needs to be called the WWBA, like World Basketball Association, and they branch out a little bit and get some other countries involved and bring up the quality and bring up the exposure. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
because
long,
unlike the
that's not
NBA,
an overnight fix,
the foreign women players aren't coming to the states to play.
right?
right.
Well,
We're
you're not going to
sending
lure them
our
here on
players.
those numbers, apparently.
No.
That's an
But
interesting
getting
thought.
back to the NBA inside stuff, did anybody else ever think it was weird that they had an NFL player host
Yeah,
NBA inside stuff?
yep.
Well, I guess you couldn't have an NBA player host NBA inside stuff because
Well,
Some
he
of
was a retired football player, so they could have
right.
had
you
a
could have had a
retired
retired basketball player. Yeah, absolutely. Uh, yeah, interesting. I guess if you're
Because we
enough
don't
of a
associate
fan,
him at all with football coverage. I don't
No,
associate
not anymore.
him at all with
So
football coverage.
he's the NBA inside stuff guy.
you read my cards here. The final season has begun of a classic. See if you guys remember this one at all. This is called Square One.
Yes, I remember
It
that it
was
was a thing,
it was a
but
very
it was not my
yeah,
jam.
it was a really strange. You know what I remember the very most about it is this this Pac-Man ripoff where you were learning to do various mathematical equations as this little guy would go around and have conversation with the ghost in his head, which is a tornado, about answering questions to move on. This I remember,
Nah,
and
I'm
nothing
good.
else about this show, but went
I
I
on
didn't
don't
watch that
remember
series.
any of this.
a very non Sesame Street style variety show, but I think it was trying to reach a similar audience. I don't know who this show is for. It made it 5 seasons though. This will be the last, unfortunately.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? You can't do that on television.
Well,
Maybe.
this was you shouldn't do that on television. This is
All
similar.
Yeah.
right, so you know what this kind of looks like to me. I don't know. If you've gotten into any PBS? Do you guys watch PBS?
I watched
Not really.
not
Not really.
anymore. Not anymore.
Like right now, watching it with Maddie.
No.
Check out this show, Odd Squad. Watch Odd Squad. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. Give it like 2 or 3 episodes. Great educational work by PBS. we're PBS, NPR family. Try Odd Squad. I'm going to say Odd Squad is one of the easy top 10 best kid shows out right now. I kind of want to put it top 5. Check out Odd Squad.
Will do. Speaking of shows that no one's heard of with the Square One, here's a debut on Fox Primetime. I don't know if you guys remember this one. We'll jump into it a little bit here.
I do remember this.
This is called
100%. I remember this. This was cool.
This is called Dog City.
Yeah, I like this.
Based on a Jim Henson, Muppet, I guess, or whatever you call some.
Jim Henson is amazing, bro. Just a great.
He's given us a lot of things, hasn't he? Jim Henson's Dog City. There it is. There's a Muppet dog.
Yeah.
I have no recollection of this whatsoever. And it looks like between the animated scenes, you do get some traditional Muppet type stuff here.
Sure. Very
reminiscent of
Fraggle Rock.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or any scene where
and Jim Henson stuff.
Yeah, like where Kermit and whoever are talking.
Sure.
The Muppet Babies.
Well, don't get me started. Muppet Babies, one of the all-time classics of morning cartoons, right?
Everything Henson touched was gold to me. Henson could do no wrong. Him and Shel Silverstein and a few others, obviously Dr. Seuss, just legends and
was Shel the
pillars in my life.
The Berenstein Bears? Was that?
No, Shel Silverstein was Where the Sidewalk Ends, A Light in the Attic. Giving Tree.
Oh, yeah. I'm dumb.
Yeah.
I've got that book. There's this big silver book that's got so many of the writings and poems.
Great poems. Yeah, absolutely.
It was given to me as a gift to read to Madeline as the years go.
You should. Which one is it? It's
silver. That's all I can remember about it right now. It's just a tall silver book.
Like there's a few of them that go together where they did like these anniversary. They get like gold sleeves and silver sleeves and things like that. If it's not Where the Sidewalk Ends, I'm going to go ahead and recommend grabbing that one because I think it's the most age appropriate for where Maddie and Ellen are. I've noticed like A Light in the Attic, a little bit older for her, where I've gone through those Where the Sidewalk Ends poems several times. And it's like, well, let's try something new. And A Light in the Attic is older. And then that other one I've got in there somewhere, but I haven't read it recently. I love Where the Sidewalk Ends. And Shel Silverstein. And Jim Henson. Cheers to him for this. Because even like everything about this looks good.
I'm going to shift.
It's going to be clever.
What's that?
The writing. The writing's going to be clever.
Jim Henson absolutely. Yeah. I imagine if I were to give the whole episode a go, I'd probably watch more than one.
Right on.
Hey, these episodes are on YouTube because who's copywriting this? I guess it's Jim Henson, so somebody ought to, but
yeah,
it appears no one remembers it. This next one will be remembered, though. We're getting into the actual sitcoms.
I have a hard time with this one.
I never liked it. Here's the debut episode, though, in September of '92.
I can't say that I didn't like it. I loved it.
Yeah,
it was one of the things that Jennifer, the oldest daughter, one of the things that we bonded on is we both kind of wanted to get out of small town Opelika and live in an apartment in the city. And we ended up living in an apartment in Opelika.
But we both love
the show. Halfway there?
Sure.
You were halfway there?
Sure. Absolutely.
50% of goal.
But we liked this show. I've got a lot of good memories of sitting on the couch watching this show with her.
Am I making this up? Did Seinfeld and this show have a crossover episode?
It doesn't sound familiar to me, but I don't know.
I've seen every episode of Seinfeld, and I don't remember a crossover.
Yeah, I don't remember. I have not seen every episode of Seinfeld, but I've seen a lot of the episodes of this show, and I don't remember a crossover episode.
Well, also, we had the debut of this lead in is so good
Hanging with Mr.
that
Cooper.
I almost want to watch the whole thing with you guys. Here is the pilot episode of a show that I may have watched every episode of, Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Yeah.
I didn't know this until, or remember this, or know this, whatever, until I watched this. It's filmed in the same house as Growing Pains, because the
Right.
first episode, here's Alan Thicke, or Mr. Seaver, coming in to say, "What are you doing in my house?" And I'm talking all over it right now, but there's some pretty
That's
good
pretty
comedy
funny.
going back and forth with these guys right now. But yeah, this would end up being it. Kind of interesting, and he plays a teacher, does he not? I mean, that's the whole premise of the Mr. Cooper thing, right?
I don't remember. Basketball coach, maybe?
Maybe
Yeah,
so.
I think he was a basketball
He's in a
coach.
tracksuit like the entire episode as I skimmed through it, but I really felt like
What's her
he.
face?
Look here.
Jaleesa from a different world.
Here.
Oh, Jaleesa.
I thought I recognized her, but look, here we are in school, right? Remember last month, Mr. Drexel's class ended. This month, Mr. Cooper's class begins. So, just interesting.
Is that...
Who's the girl on the right? She looks a little familiar, but it may just be that I remember her from the show.
You remember her from the show?
Yep, that's it.
Is the light-skinned guy, is that the guy that's what's-his-face's brother?
Show him to me again. Is he going to tell me? Was he just on screen?
The one in like the cross-color shirt right there, the red and black shirt, red, black, and green shirt. Is that Cuba Gooding Jr.'s brother? Is that the guy that's Cuba's brother?
Let's look at him. Here he comes. I don't know. I don't know if I see it or not. Maybe.
There's an actor who's
I'm trying
Cuba
to
Gooding
see it, but
Jr.'s brother.
I don't quite see it.
So I was like, oh crap, that's his brother?
Omar?
Is his name Omar Gooding?
I believe so, because he was also on that Nickelodeon show where the kids did challenges.
That's him. Same person. That's him.
So it's a good cast.
She's always been so pretty to me.
Yeah.
My stepdad had a crazy crush on her, though.
On her with the Thigh Master here?
Yeah. He loved her.
I'm more about
Holly
this one in the blue dress.
Ooh, Holly Robinson. So, I always associated her with Robin Givens, right? Because they were both on, what was that show?
We just talked about it, I feel like, not long ago. Yeah.
Yeah, they were both on Head of the Class together, so they're forever compared to each other. And Holly Robinson ultimately wins.
Yeah, she's the winner. Although, you go back and look at like Boomerang trailer again, and it'll make you think twice.
In her prime is a smokestack.
Absolutely.
But Holly just, I don't know, for whatever reason, I just view her more fondly.
Well, because
staring at them titties.
Oh my! So because I
can't edit that.
Somebody take this man's beer away. So as the quote unquote host of the show, sometimes I will take advantage of that role, and I saved what I thought was the best for last. This would have been on your probably
greatest
animated anything ever, right? But this would have been on some afternoon programming block.
Ooh, what a claim!
Well, it's Batman, and I'm always gonna.
What a claim! I'm gonna go with.
You can't compare it to like DuckTales
favorite Batman
or anything,
ever, right?
Yeah, it's
yeah. Can you compare it to DuckTales?
There's just different genres here. So,
what would you compare it to? And is it better? Is it better than Ninja Turtle? Hell to the no, to the no.
Animaniacs.
We just watched Animaniacs, the first episode last night. But I put some respect on that name, man. With all due respect to Michael Keaton,
it's
probably my favorite Batman.
Very well revered Batman, and it gets to cover a lot of ground. It's going to go on for several seasons.
And that's really what he gets away with more than anything is
having time to tell
just
a story.
The amount of time in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like reruns on top of reruns. Yeah, it shows a thing. That show is a thing. much as I defend Superman, Batman is my guy. You guys have heard me say it before. I just acknowledge that Superman will fly down from the moon right now and push Batman through the top of that building into the ground.
Batman
All
would have
Batman
already
fans
seen
just
it coming,
acknowledge
though.
that.
Batman would
That's
have
the
already
problem that
seen
I
it
have with
coming.
Batman fans. Oh my god, that's the problem that I have. Like Superman can't sneak attack Batman. Shut up. Superman melts this dude's
He
brain
would have been in his
from
kryptonite
his
bat suit the moment
recliner.
he knew that trouble was coming.
Exactly. Exactly. And if there is a weakness in his armor, then somebody's just going to rewrite Batman and make him. Did you know that Bruce Wayne invented a way, bought a way for him to be an alien also, and he gets powered by the sun now because he has a lot of money.
Oh,
Shut up.
I wouldn't go that far. I can't go that far with my Batman.
Right.
But you know
Right.
what? You've also exposed the problem with Superman storytelling is that he's just too indestructible to ever believe that he's not just going to save the day in 5 minutes. Every Superman movie should be 5 minutes long.
Sure. That's why every Superman movie involves creating another Superman.
Right, because what are you going to do?
Because what are you going to
What
do?
are you going to do? They got
Or
to come
using
from
using kryptonite against him.
right. They had
Sure.
to, invent kryptonite. They'll have a problem. So Gene Hackman can get up to his dastardly deeds.
That's a new thought. Is there a Superman movie where ultimately he doesn't either something pretending to be him or someone secretly from his planet?
The quick take is I can't think of a scenario that doesn't involve most recently in Batman versus Superman, Batman having kryptonite. Previously to that, Lex Luthor having kryptonite, or someone coming from his home planet.
Yeah, or like another super person. The only one where it's like
And
the one I remember
Superman
where
is
it's
apparently
not.
the only good guy to come from that planet.
Right?
Like everybody
And
else a total
Superwoman
jerk. Yeah, him
and
and
Supergirl, his cousin,
Supergirl.
they
Yeah,
get no love. If there's two of them running around that world, then yeah, how are they not just on thrones somewhere? There's two of them, really? Whatever. Okay, Superman's awesome. Watch The Boys if you guys haven't watched The Boys yet. Speaking of Superman and Batman,
have not. It's on the
No,
queue.
yeah,
yeah,
you
it's
gotta
on the
do it.
queue. I hear good things about it.
It's super cool. I want to go back and watch it again. Also,
I'm rewatching Stranger Things because it's
because
October.
Fair enough.
it's October. Maybe I should do that. Maybe that's what I'll do next week.
Oh, that's a great time to get into Stranger Things. Yeah.
Maybe. Let's see what else I'm feeling. But yeah, maybe. Oh, I'm doing Cobra Kai right now, but that's
Oh well,
a story for another time.
yeah.
That's an '80s conversation, maybe.
We're gonna get completely derailed and we can talk
Yeah,
about Cobra Kai and Stranger Things for 6 hours. So
sure.
that will do it for television in September 1992.